Races, like the Moccoletti, are one of the episodes peculiar to the last days of the carnival. At the sound of the fireworks, the carriages instantly broke ranks and retired by the adjacent streets. All these evolutions are executed with an inconceivable address and marvelous rapidity, without the police interfering in the matter. The pedestrians ranged themselves against the walls. Then the trampling of horses and the clashing of steel were heard. A detachment of carbineers, 15 abreast, galloped up the Corso in order to clear it for the Barberi. When the detachment arrived at the Piazza di Venetia, a second volley of fireworks was discharged, to announce that the street was clear. Almost instantly, in the midst of a tremendous and general outcry, 7 or 8 horses, excited by the shouts of 300,000 spectators, passed by like lightning. Then the castle of St. Angelo fired 3 cannon to indicate that the number 3 had won. Immediately, without any other signal, the carriages moved on, flowing on towards the Corso, down all the streets, like torrents pent up for a while, which again flow into the parent river, and the immense stream again continued its course between its 2 granite banks. A new source of noise and movement was added to the crowd. The sellers of the Moccoletti entered on the scene. The Moccoli, or Moccoletti, are candles which vary in size from the paschal taper to the rushlight, and which give to each actor in the great final scene of the carnival 2 very serious problems to grapple with: how to keep his own Moccoletto alight, and secondly, how to extinguish the Moccoletti of others. The Moccoletto is like life. Man has found but one means of transmitting it, and that one comes from God. But he has discovered 1,000 means of taking it away, and the devil has somewhat aided him. The Moccoletto is kindled by approaching it to a light, but who can describe the 1,000 means of extinguishing the Moccoletto? The gigantic bellows, the monstrous extinguishers, the superhuman fans. Everyone hastened to purchase Moccoletti, Franz and Albert among the rest. Has Rome ever burned down? I don't know that. Answer: not like San Francisco and Chicago. I think we can throw London in there, maybe, if memory is serving me right. 300,000 people, all aiming to get candles amidst flowing costumes and racing horses. Holy shit, this just seems like a fire hazard waiting to happen. I'm not trying to rain on the cultural parade of anyone else, but my God, fire everywhere. This seems like a spectacle for sure, like a dangerous fire hazard also for sure. What the heck are these things? Let's talk about it. The passage today gives us some indication that they're candles, that they are celebratory thingy-mabobs. But what this passage is getting at, that I think some cultural references lost through the ages, is that this is a game. This is a game played by everyone. And the rules are simple. Keep your candle lit and extinguish everyone else's. Now, this seems like it could be kind of fun because once your candle goes out, well, I don't know the rules of the game really, but if your candle goes out, it's not like you can't relight it by getting it next to somebody else's. So maybe just because you have been extinguished doesn't mean you have been eliminated. But this is something that I found kind of funny. When someone loses their flame, the crowd around them shouts, "Senza Moccolo," which means no candle. It seems like a very childish game, and getting 300,000 people to play this simultaneously is kind of charming to me. But how do you extinguish someone else's candle? Think of all the things that are around, and earmark it by saying that you can use anything to blow out other people's flames. So you've got, and some of it is listed here at the end here: gigantic bellows, monstrous extinguishers, superhuman fans. So you can imagine all the costumes going around, how many cloaks there are, how many hats there are, how many bellows and bare hands and fans. But it's all in good fun. I mean, there's no violence, really. I mean, I don't know how you get 300,000 people and not have some sort of violence. But, I mean, the game itself isn't meant for violence. There's not really escalation of the game. You know, it's not like a collect all the candles. There's no points or anything. And And it's a simple enough game that everyone can understand it. So you would get people... Well, I haven't seen much about children in the carnival except for the execution scene, which is alarming to me, but I'm sure they're around somewhere. But basically, this is, a childish game in that there's competition, but no consequence. And I think this is a pretty celebratory scene, putting us in the throes of Carnival. But there's one line here that I think we need to pull out. Now, it's not rooted in Dante necessarily. Actually, it's two lines. And it says, "The Moccoletti is like life. Man has found but one means of transmitting it, and that one comes from God. But he has discovered by 1,000 means of taking it away, and the devil has somewhat aided him." So the comparison to the overarching themes of this story, or maybe the themes that are emerging about how easy it is to take a life. I mean, that touches a bit on what Dante was going through regarding the executions and just how easy it is to end a life, to separate a man's soul from his body. And it's just this little tiny sentiment in the midst of this larger celebratory explanation that Dumas gives us today. I think that's kind of a subconscious priming of our brains to be thinking in terms of how delicate life can be. And folks, I just thought of another parallel. I wouldn't have got this without my research here, but when someone's flame goes out and they yell out "senza moccolo," which means, again, no candle, if you're comparing the flame to life, a very similar back and forth happened during the execution scene when Andrea was killed. The crowd cheers. The crowd reacts to a light being snuffed out. Maybe I'm looking too closely at this. Maybe I've been podcasting for too long in my life. Okay, we are at the end of Chapter 36. Tomorrow is our last episode. So I just want to mention that it is still Supporter Month here on the Gruntwork Podcast Network. What does that mean? You can go over to patreon.com/gruntworkpod and sign up for free and get everything we have ever done on the network free of cost. No cost to you. There is so much to do there, and I don't want to go into everything you can get. We have a nifty little menu of services, so to speak, to help guide you through it. I'll just keep it specific to what might be of interest to you. Obviously, as of tomorrow, you'll get the story-only audio of Chapter 36, but if you wanted all 36 chapters without my commentary, you can get that for free right now. If you were interested in joining up with our Odyssey podcast, where we're reading a page out of the Odyssey every day, those same story-only audio files exist on Patreon as well. So you can catch up to the story and jump into the daily grind that we're doing over there. But that's not all. You can also get audiobook versions of Sinbad the Sailor. I'm doing all 7 voyages of Sinbad from Tales of 1001 Nights, so that we can see what that story has influenced in Dumas, has inspired in Dante, and how it relates to the Count of Monte Cristo. All of that for free for the month of May over at patreon.com/gruntworkpod. If I didn't say it before, even you contributors who usually give us at least $1 a month every single month are getting a free month. We deeply appreciate it, and we hope that if you enjoy the content that we're providing, that you'll continue to support us, that you will consider contributing at least $1 per month moving forward so that we can continue to bring you awesome content, that we can continue to grow the network and do new cool shows. But of course, you can always leave us a very short review and a 5-star rating over at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. You can subscribe, comment, and follow the YouTube channel for this show, and then send somebody the website, send someone the YouTube channel, send someone the podcast feed for the show to help expand our reach to all new listeners who might not find us otherwise. I deeply appreciate all of you being here, as always. Tomorrow, let's round out Chapter 36. So until then, okay, goodbye. The Countdown of Monte Cristo is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. This show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. Theme song by Magic Solo. If you want to support the show and others like it, visit patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.